All right, guys, welcome to video 2. The last video, we spent a little bit of time going through some of the stretches, working through making sure we've got good range. We worked on activation to make sure that the tissue temperature and stability is being created. Now in video 2, we're actually going to talk about the vertical press and what we should be thinking about as we're working on building strength. Without further ado, let's get into the work. I'm gonna throw this band down because it's about to get real. Yeah! I just sounded like a complete trash bag. That was good. Yeah, that was all good. Don't worry. Don't judge me. I'm gonna keep this in here. Yeah, should keep that part in there. That way you can see I'm really not that big of a douchebag. All right, so we're gonna go into the vertical press. So one of the things that I want to clarify here is that some people are really hyper-specific. And when we get into things like bodybuilding, where most strength exercises are taken from, we really get into the minutia of where the joint angles need to be in order to build a specific muscle. However, if we're talking about general fitness, we're talking about improving your overall quality of life, if we're talking about being able to get strong without having pain, then we really have to move in a way that's in alignment with your body and how your body is designed. And what we talk about here is we talk about the power position. Well, why do we talk about the power position? Because your shoulder is going to sit up into this socket, and then it's got a whole supporting cast of stabilizing muscles and tendons to keep it in pocket. And when we start going into vertical pressing, right, if we stay too closed here and we start working our way up, this can create a lot of tension right here through the anterior delt, right? This can create that tension that we don't want in the pectoralis. So the other way that you'll often see people say you have to do shoulder presses is from this wide position all the way out. And what I often see here is if your body is tight through the anterior chain, which is very, very common, your body is going to be competing with this pull forward. And often I'll see clients who are elevating their traps because they don't know how to control their traps, one, or two, their lats aren't actually strong enough to keep that shoulder depressed so it can stabilize functionally. So knowing that going too wide and being too narrow can be a problem for you, what we look for is called the power position, which is right in the middle at about 45 degrees, which means when the arms come down, they're going to set themselves up, tricep to the rib cage, shoulders stay down and depressed, shoulders back and chest elevated. And in this pressing position from here, now I'm able to recruit the muscles that I need with the space that I need to get the press from the strongest position. So now let's talk a little bit about what that press is going to actually look like. From this power position, when I lock myself in, I want to, again, keep that rib cage dialed in, my core stays tight, my hips are locked in, and now I want to go ahead and press myself all the way up. And you'll hear references of like getting your head through the window or clearing the bar or anything like that. And the reality is that when you start pressing up vertically, we want that bar to go up, 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 up in front of the body. And then once we get past the breaking point, we're going to allow that bar to start to adjust back so that the weight gets stacked vertically right in alignment with my body. I don't want to get caught holding the weight up here because that's going to pull my body forward. What I really want to do is work on getting my arms back, hence the focus on creating that shoulder mobility. So that arm is going to track up, press up, rotate in a spiral fashion as I'm pressing up. I get through the window, my head comes through, the bar can safely sit right over the back of my head. Now when I bring the bar back down, I reverse the pattern. I'm re-spiraling that arm back down to load the tissue. I'm bringing it back down into the path of least resistance for the shoulder joint, and I can bring that weight right back down into the body. So let's take a look and see what this looks like with an actual bar. So when I set myself up, there's a variety of positions that you may place your hands in. The ones that I want you to focus on for today is we're gonna get our arms set up so that our thumbs and the hook of our hand are set up just in alignment with the outside of our shoulder. This is gonna ensure that I can comfortably and safely get my arms down in position. I don't feel boxed up and it's not too wide, creating unnecessary tension. And this is also gonna allow me to create tension, inner abdominal pressure, and then engage the muscles as I drive them all the way up and through. So here we go. Get my hands set up, see where I'm at. Now, because I've done this for a long time, I generally know where to place my hands on the bar based on where the rings are and where the knurl is. So from here, I get myself set up, I take my step back. I've got a strong position for the bar to rest just above my clavicle. I take a breath in, I create that pressure, inner abdominal tension, and then I start that drive up. Pressing into the bar, I drive through, clears the bar through my nose and chin, all the way up through my head, finish. Now my head comes through the window and the bar is stacked right over the top of my body. From here, I can reverse that pattern. I bring the bar back down. You see the elbows track forward just slightly, and the bar comes all the way back down to the base, just above the clav, just below the chin. So I'm gonna rep out 3 reps here for you just to see what it looks like in real time. And then we'll rack it up. Awesome. All right, so you just finished doing your vertical press. You add a little bit of weight. Now you get to evaluate. See, that's one of the most important parts when you're going through a strength exercise is evaluating the quality of that movement. Do you feel like there's shear when you're pressing overhead? Does it feel like you're restricted in one certain way? Do you feel like you're gritting your teeth or your traps are taking over? Do you feel like you're limited in the range of motion, or do you feel like your ribs are flaring too much? As you go through each set, not only in the warm-up, but as you go through your main training section, you're able to evaluate how your body is responding to the load, and you're able to adjust accordingly. If you're able to maintain the structural integrity, the mobility, and stability of each movement as you progressively increase the weight, then it's okay to keep adding weight until you get to the breaking point. The breaking point is where we know that we should probably pause, slow down, and regress a little bit so that we can build more strength before we try to progress and add on again. And this is often a point of contention because people will say you've got to overload yourself. And I agree. But there's no reason to overload yourself if you don't have the prerequisite needs of movement quality, of stability, and the appropriate amount of strength. So make sure you have those things dialed in first before you go off the deep end and overload yourself and then end up hurting yourself. So now that you've gone through that, you've taken a moment to evaluate how it felt. Make the appropriate adjustment. If something felt tight, stretch it. If something felt like it was more active on one side than the other, go through another sequence of activation. If you feel like the movement was really solid and very strong, but the load was too light, add a little bit of weight. And if you feel like it was unsafe or unsteady, then reduce the weight and focus on the quality. And those are 4 ways that you can self-reflect and evaluate the quality of your movement as you focus on building up your strength. Now that you've finished this second video, it's time for you to move on over and watch the 3rd part of this series so you can learn how to translate strength, boom, boom, into power. I'll see you there. Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you're working out with a buddy and he's got terrible form or she's got terrible form, make sure that you send this video to them so that they can take time to educate themselves and improve the quality of their workout. Not only will that make you a better workout buddy, it'll make you a true friend. All right, let's see you in the next video.